Hey guys, it's Scott here. In this video, I'm here with a couple of bonus guests today, and we're going to get to the top 5 horses in the 2023 Kentucky Derby. And I'm not going to say these horses are going to come in 1 through, in the exact order in the superfecta, but this is kind of ranking the top 5 contenders, and we're going to get into it. And my number 5 horse is going to be Lord Miles, and I'm just kidding. Lord Miles is not going to crack my top 5 list. But anyways, we'll get on to the real horse. And coming in at number 5 is going to be Dermasogake. He's the UAE Derby winner. He's a Japanese horse, and Japanese horses have been getting a lot of steam for the last couple of years. Actually, probably going back maybe about 3 or 4 years. And this kind of feels like if there was every year where the Japanese horse could sneak into the superfecta or even win the race, it might be this year. So for me, Dermasogake is going to come at number 5. If there's a slight negative in the UAE Derby, that was kind of a merry-go-round race, and he ran on the lead in that race. So, I got to wonder how he's going to do when the pace scenario is going to be a little bit different, as, that Midan race course has a history of if you run on the front, it can be, really kind of, front runners. But nonetheless, because he's Japanese and off the potential, he's going to crack, make my list at number 5. And coming at number 4, I'm going to have Tapit. He's a Bluegrass winner, the Tampa Bay Derby winner. I still think mentally he's still trying to figure it out. Talent-wise, he's definitely got a lot of talent, a lot of ability. I wonder on Derby Day running that 20-horse field if maybe some of his mental flaws might, get the best of him. If you're a better Tapit Tri-State, you probably want to see him, get good position, not, get in between horses or have a rough trip. You kind of want to see him maybe, be out in the clear and able to, come on the run around that long stretch at Churchill Downs. So for me, Tapit Tri is going to come at number 4. So I do think he has a lot of ability, but he's still trying to figure it out mentally. Number 3, I'm going to have Kingsbarn. He's the Louisiana Derby winner. And, for the Louisiana Derby, that was a very slow-paced race. And, I wonder how he's going to do when the pace probably speeds up a little bit quicker in the Derby. I'm not saying it's going to be a lightning fast pace in the Derby. I actually think it's going to be moderate to maybe kind of slowish again. But, nonetheless, Kingsbarn's proven that he doesn't need the lead. And, he can also, rate a little bit. And that's going to be huge on Derby. He's got a lot of speed in a race that doesn't have a lot of speed, if that makes sense. So for me, Kingsbarn is going to make number 3 on my list. At number 2, it's going to be Forte. And Forte was number 1 for a while, but, he's kind of left the door open to, losing that number 1 spot. And he kind of reminds me when he runs of the 2014 Florida State team that, they seem like they won every game by like 3 points and just, squeaked by them. They went undefeated in the regular season, as they always left more to be, desired. And that's kind of what Forte is. Every race is like, he wins the race, but he always leaves more to be desired. It doesn't ever come back flashy. It's always, he just always gets the job done. And he kind of reminds me of Tiz the Law and, horses like that, Central Quality. And, and those horses, didn't win the Derby. They finished in the superfecta, but, none of them won. So for that, Forte is going to make number 2 on my list. And coming at number 1 is going to be Angel of Empire. And I personally think that this horse is very underrated for Brad Cox. And, he won the Arkansas Derby. I think some of why he's, rated by people a little low is that the Smarty Jones, I think that was nothing more than a prep race for the Risen Star. He did come with a move, but he got second in the race. And then in the Risen Star, he, ultimately, he won the race, but the visuals on the race wasn't that great. It was a nighttime race. It was, ugly. You couldn't really keep track of the horse. It wasn't that flashy. You make the move on the turn and then, come down and win by 5 or 6. It was, it took a little bit of deep stretch to get the job done, but he, beat 2 fills, horses like that. So, it's still a very good performance, but, it's, and then the Arkansas Derby, I thought that was his best race yet to date. He made that big sweeping move on the turn, one going away. And to me, I think you're going to see more of that on Kentucky Derby. And as crazy as it sounds for a Brad Cox horse, I think you're going to see some good value on this horse. But, nonetheless, that's my top 5 Derby horses. And thanks for watching, guys. Plenty more to come.